One Halloween night, a woman named Claire was handing out candy at her suburban home. Among the children in colorful costumes was a tall man dressed as a scarecrow. His costume was incredibly realistic, with straw poking out of his sleeves and a burlap sack over his head. He stood silently at the end of her driveway, watching. Claire assumed he was part of a group of trick-or-treaters waiting their turn. But as the night went on, he didn't leave. He didn't move at all. At first, she thought it was a clever prank, maybe a neighbor trying to scare her. She laughed nervously and decided to ignore him. Around midnight, the trick-or-treaters stopped coming, and the streets became eerily quiet. Claire locked up, turned off the porch light, and went to bed. But when she glanced out the window, the scarecrow was still there, now standing closer to her house. Panicked, she called the police. When they arrived, they searched the yard but found nothing. They assured her it was probably just a prank. Claire tried to sleep, but around 3 a.m., she heard a loud thud downstairs. Grabbing her phone, she locked herself in her bedroom and called the police again. When officers arrived and searched the house, they found muddy footprints leading from her backyard into her home. The back door had been forced open. In the living room, they discovered the scarecrow costume crumpled on the floor. Whoever had been wearing it was gone, but they left behind a chilling note. "Thanks for the fun night. See you next year." To this day, Claire never celebrates Halloween. A group of friends decided to explore an abandoned house in their neighborhood on Halloween night. The house had been empty for decades, and local legends claimed it was haunted. Determined to prove it was just a myth, they brought flashlights and dared each other to spend the night inside. As they walked through the dark, dusty rooms, they noticed something strange. Costumes hung neatly in a closet, untouched by time. They joked about trying them on, but one of the friends, Jake, dared to wear an old clown costume. At first, everyone laughed as Jake pretended to be a creepy clown, chasing them through the house. But soon, Jake's behavior became unsettling. His laughter turned maniacal, and he started saying things that didn't make sense. "I've always lived here," he whispered, his voice trembling. The friends thought it was a prank, but when they tried to leave, Jake blocked the door, his face eerily pale under the clown mask. "Stay," he said. "The house likes company." Suddenly, Jake collapsed, and when the group pulled off the clown mask, they found his face covered in deep scratches, as though something had been clawing at him from inside the costume. Panicked, they dragged him outside, leaving the costume behind. As they reached safety, Jake woke up, confused and terrified, with no memory of what had happened. The group swore never to speak of that night again, but every Halloween, they find a single clown mask left at their doorsteps, eerily identical to the one Jake wore. A young couple, Lily and Mark, had just moved into an old house on the edge of town. It was Halloween night, and the neighborhood was buzzing with children trick-or-treating. The couple had no candy to give out, so they decided to turn off the porch light and watch scary movies instead. As the night went on, Lily glanced out the window and noticed a figure standing on the sidewalk across the street. It was a tall man dressed in dark clothing, his face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. He wasn't moving, just staring at their house. "He's probably waiting for kids to trick-or-treat," Mark said, brushing it off. But hours passed, and the figure remained in the same spot, motionless. Uneasy, Lily locked the doors and drew the curtains. She tried to ignore it, but something about the figure gnawed at her. Around midnight, curiosity got the best of her. She peeked through a small gap in the curtain, and her heart froze. The man was now standing in their front yard, closer than ever. Mark grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside to confront him, but the man was gone. Relieved, they decided to call it a night. At 3 a.m., Lily woke up to a strange noise, a soft tapping on the bedroom window. Her heart raced as she turned toward the sound. There, on the other side of the glass, was the shadowy figure, staring directly at her. Mark woke up to her screams and rushed to the window, but the man had vanished. They called the police, who found no signs of forced entry or footprints outside the house. The next morning, as the couple tried to shake off the nightmare, Lily noticed something chilling on the bedroom window. A single handprint, smudged into the glass from the inside.